When Lisa Harrison's night shift at St. Mary's General Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts ended, she dragged her tired body down the hospital corridor. She had been working in pediatrics for the past 10 years. For the single Lisa, work was her life's purpose, and the smiles of sick children were her greatest reward. Her cell phone rang. It was from her sister Kate. "Lisa. Thanks for your hard work. Can you talk now?" "Of course. What's wrong?" Kate's voice sounded a bit tense. "Actually, I'll be hospitalized starting next week. For the birth of my second child, the doctor told me I need to rest." Lisa stopped walking. "That's worrying. But as long as the baby is born safely, that's what matters most." "Thank you. I have a favor to ask. Mike is busy with work, and I was wondering if you could take care of Emily. It'll probably be for about a week." Lisa's face brightened. Emily was her adorable 7-year-old niece, like a treasure to Lisa. "Of course. I'd be delighted to spend time with Emily. That's such a relief. Emily is looking forward to staying with her aunt too." After hanging up, Lisa thought about Kate's family. She had married Mike Johnson 3 years ago and lived in a small house in the suburbs. The two seemed like an ideal couple, and Emily appeared to be a lovely child to everyone. The next afternoon, Lisa visited Kate's house. The white-sided house was small but well-maintained, with colorful flowers planted in the front yard. When she opened the front door, Emily came running up to her. "Aunt Lisa. Emily. You've grown so much." Lisa knelt down and hugged Emily. Emily seemed a little thin, but children often changed body shape during growth spurts. Kate emerged from the kitchen. 8 months pregnant, her belly had grown large, but she remained beautiful and carefully made up. "Thanks for coming, Lisa. Would you like some coffee?" "Thank you." Lisa sat on the sofa and called Emily to sit beside her. When Mike came home from work, the family of 4 gathered in the living room. He was a tall man who always wore suits. She had heard that his sales job was going well and he was well regarded at his company. "Lisa, thank you so much. Emily is such a good child who doesn't cause trouble, so I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time together," Mike said with a smile. "That's right. Emily is really well behaved. She goes to sleep right away at night and wakes up by herself in the morning," Kate added. Emily listened quietly to the adults' conversation. She was surprisingly quiet for a 7-year-old child, sitting small on Lisa's lap. "Emily, what would you like to do at your aunt's house?" Lisa asked gently. "Anything is fine," Emily answered in a small voice. "Shall we go to the park or cook together?" "Yes." Kate laughed. "See, she's really obedient, isn't she? Emily always says yes to everything. It seems like her rebellious phase is still far away." That evening, Lisa had dinner with them at Kate's house. Emily continued eating quietly without joining the adults' conversation. Occasionally, Lisa noticed that Emily wasn't eating much, but children's appetites varied with their moods. "Emily, starting tomorrow you'll be staying at your aunt's house for a while. You're looking forward to it, aren't you?" Kate called out to her daughter. "Yes, Mom." Emily smiled, but that smile seemed somehow artificial. The next morning, Lisa went to pick up Emily. A small suitcase was packed with a week's worth of clothes, and Emily was holding a doll. "Have a good time. Be a good girl," Kate patted her daughter's head. "Mom, will the baby be born healthy?" Emily asked a question on her own for the first time. "Of course. You'll definitely have a cute little brother or sister." Mike carried the luggage to the car. "Lisa, if you have any problems, please contact us right away. Emily is quiet, so I don't think there will be any issues." In the car, Emily sat in the back seat looking out the window. Lisa looked at Emily's condition through the rearview mirror, concerned about her daughter. "Emily, this isn't your first time coming to my house, but this time we can be together for a long time, so I'm looking forward to it." "Yes," Emily answered quietly. Lisa's apartment was in a quiet residential area near the hospital. It was on the first floor of a 2-story building, small but clean and warm. When Emily put down her luggage, she quietly listened to Lisa's instructions. "This will be your room. It's next to my bedroom, so if you need anything, call me right away." "Thank you," Emily answered politely. While Lisa was impressed by Emily's politeness, she felt something was off. It was unusual for a 7-year-old child to be so mature. However, she thought Kate must have disciplined her well and didn't pay particular attention to it. The first morning of Lisa and Emily's life together was greeted in silence. When Lisa woke up, the clock still pointed to 6 a.m. Normally she would sleep a little later, but she woke up early, conscious of Emily's presence. However, when she peeked into the next room, Emily's bed was already neatly made, and Emily was nowhere to be seen. Lisa frantically searched around the apartment. "Emily! Where are you?" In the corner of the living room sofa, Emily was sitting with her knees drawn up. She was hugging her doll to her chest, staring out the window. "Good morning, Emily. You're an early riser," Lisa smiled gently. "Good morning. I'm sorry for waking you up," Emily answered in a small voice. "You didn't wake me up. But have you been up this early?" "Yes. I always wake up at this time." Lisa was a little surprised. However, she thought regular living habits were good and didn't think deeply about it. "Well then, shall we make breakfast together?" While making pancakes in the kitchen, Lisa tried to have a conversation with Emily. However, Emily's responses were always short words like, "yes," "no," and "thank you." There were no innocent questions or requests typical of 7-year-old children. "Emily, how is school? Do you have lots of friends?" "School is fun. I have friends." "What kind of friends? Tell me their names." Emily showed a slightly troubled expression. Everyone is nice." Lisa had a small doubt that no specific names or stories came up. However, she convinced herself that some children were shy. During breakfast, Lisa was carefully observing Emily's behavior. Watching Emily cut her pancakes into small pieces and eat slowly, Lisa smiled. "Is it delicious?" "Yes. It's very delicious." Emily answered, but she hadn't actually eaten even half of the pancakes. "Won't you eat a little more? There's still plenty." "I'm already full." "Thank you." Lisa tilted her head. Considering Emily's build, she should be able to eat a little more. However, she thought children's appetites changed from day to day and didn't force her. That afternoon, Lisa took Emily to the neighborhood park. Since it was a weekday afternoon, other children were also playing in the park. "Emily, friends are playing over there. Would you like to go play with them?" Emily was looking at the other children but didn't try to approach them. "I'm fine just watching from here. But it would surely be fun. The slide, the swings. If Aunt Lisa comes with me." Lisa took Emily's hand and headed toward the playground equipment. However, Emily kept her distance from the other children and played quietly by herself. Even when other children occasionally talked to her, Emily just nodded slightly and didn't try to actively engage. "Is Emily always this quiet?" one of the neighborhood mothers asked Lisa. "She's my sister's child. She might be a little shy. But she's such a well-behaved child. My child is much more mischievous and hard to handle." Lisa gave a wry smile. Emily was certainly an easy child to handle. However, for a 7-year-old child, she seemed too much of a good girl. Even during shopping at the supermarket that evening, Emily's behavior was mature. While Lisa was selecting products, Emily waited quietly beside the cart. Unlike other children, she never begged for candy or ran around. "Emily, is there anything you want? Candy or toys?" "No, I don't need anything." "Really? You don't have to hold back. I'm really fine. Thank you." After finishing the checkout, Lisa happened to meet the mother of Emily's classmate. "Oh, Emily. How are you?" the woman called out in a friendly manner. Emily shrank back for a moment but immediately put on a smile. "Hello, Mrs. Jennifer. How's your mom? The baby will be born soon, right? Yes, she's fine. That's good. See you at school again. Emily nodded, but after the woman left, she clearly seemed relieved. Emily, is Mrs. Jennifer a friend's mother? Yes. She's a classmate's mother. What kind of friend? An ordinary child. Another vague answer. Lisa began to worry a little about Emily's sociability. During dinner that evening, Lisa made chicken nuggets and French fries that Emily would probably like. However, Emily still only tried to eat a small amount. Emily, won't you eat a little more? You're growing, so you need to eat properly. I'm sorry. I'm not very hungry. Are you feeling okay? Does anything hurt? I'm fine. Sorry for worrying you. Lisa frowned. She felt uncomfortable that Emily apologized so much. Would a 7-year-old child be so considerate of adults? Emily, you don't need to apologize. Your aunt is just worried about you. Yes. Thank you. Before bedtime, Lisa decided to read Emily a picture book. However, Emily said, "You don't have to read to me. But reading together is fun, isn't it?" Yes. Then please do. Lisa chose a picture book called Goodnight Moon. Emily listened quietly, but she could occasionally be seen yawning. Are you sleepy? A little bit. Well then, shall we stop here for today? Thank you. When Emily got into her bed, she hugged her doll and lay down quietly. Lisa tried to kiss Emily's forehead, but Emily slightly twisted her body. Good night, Emily. Good night, Aunt Lisa. Lisa left the room and headed to her bedroom. However, she couldn't fall asleep easily. The more she thought about Emily's behavior, the more she felt something wasn't normal. However, Lisa decided she was worrying too much. Emily was certainly mature, but that was probably because Kate had disciplined her well. There were various types of children in the world. The next morning, Emily was also an early riser. Before Lisa woke up, she was already sitting on the sofa. Good morning, Emily. What shall we do today? Please decide, Aunt Lisa. I'm asking what you want to do. Anything is fine. Lisa felt a little irritated. She felt uncomfortable that there were no childlike requests or opinions at all. Emily, don't you really want to do anything? Watch TV, play games, draw pictures. I like drawing pictures. Well then, let's draw pictures together. Lisa prepared drawing paper and crayons. However, all the pictures Emily drew were small and had subdued colors. For pictures drawn by a 7-year-old child, they seemed too modest and lacking in creativity. That's good. But you can draw bigger. Use any colors you like. This is enough. Emily seemed satisfied with her pictures. However, to Lisa, it seemed like Emily was restraining herself. That afternoon, Lisa called her friend Nancy. Nancy was an elementary school teacher and someone she could consult about children's behavior. It's about Emily, but there's something that's bothering me. What kind of thing? She's too much of a good girl. For a 7-year-old child, she's too mature. Isn't that a good thing? A child who doesn't cause trouble is ideal for parents. But she has no childlike demands or selfishness at all. She's always apologizing. Nancy thought for a moment before answering. Lisa, maybe Emily is being strictly disciplined at home. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe so, but if you're really worried, why don't you observe her a little more? Children's behavior patterns become clearer over time. After hanging up, Lisa decided to observe Emily's behavior again. On the surface, nothing seemed wrong, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't normal. That evening, Lisa asked Emily about dinner. What would you like to eat today? Anything is fine. I want to make something you like. Is there any food you especially like? Emily thought for a moment before answering. I like spaghetti. Lisa's face brightened. Then let's have spaghetti for dinner tomorrow. I'll make a specially delicious sauce. Thank you. Emily smiled, but there seemed to be some complex emotion hidden behind that smile. On the evening of the third day since Kate's delivery, Lisa was preparing a special dinner in the kitchen. She had decided to put her heart into making the spaghetti that Emily had requested as her only request. Emily's lack of appetite over the past few days had been concerning, but she hoped Emily would eat happily if it was her favorite food. Emily, dinner will be ready soon. Go wash your hands. Yes. Emily quietly headed to the washroom. Lisa carefully made tomato sauce and boiled the spaghetti a little shorter to suit Emily's small mouth. She put plenty of cheese on top and scattered parsley for color. It was a beautiful dish that a 7-year-old child would be happy to see. It's ready. Today is Emily's special request. Sitting across from each other at the dining table, Lisa watched Emily's reaction with anticipation. However, Emily just stared at the plate and didn't try to move her chopsticks. What's wrong? It looks delicious, doesn't it? Yes, it looks delicious. Emily's voice was small and sounded somehow tense. Don't hold back and eat. I made a lot. Emily carefully wound the spaghetti with her fork and brought a small bite to her mouth. At that moment, Lisa saw Emily's expression change drastically. Emily's face turned pale and her eyes opened wide. And the next moment, Emily spit the spaghetti from her mouth onto the plate. Emily. Are you okay? Lisa frantically stood up from her chair and rushed to Emily's side. Emily was trembling with her small body, and tears were streaming down her cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Emily cried and apologized repeatedly. You don't need to apologize. Are you feeling sick? Do you feel nauseous? Lisa put her hand on Emily's forehead. She didn't seem to have a fever. However, Emily's trembling didn't stop, and her crying became more intense. I'm sorry, you made it deliciously. I'm sorry. Emily, calm down. You didn't do anything wrong. However, Emily's condition was abnormal. While it wasn't unusual for a 7-year-old child to spit out food, apologizing so intensely and continuing to tremble was abnormal. Emily, does your stomach hurt? Or do you feel sick? I don't know, but I'm sorry. Lisa hugged Emily and gently rubbed her back. However, Emily's trembling didn't stop and seemed to be getting more intense. Let's go to the hospital. You must have some illness. Hospital. Fear appeared in Emily's eyes. I don't need to go to the hospital. I'll get better soon. But you seem so sick. Please. Please don't take me to the hospital. Emily pleaded desperately. Lisa was confused. It was normal for children to dislike hospitals, but Emily's reaction was close to terror. However, she couldn't just leave things as they were. Emily, your aunt is a nurse. I'm worried about your body. Let's have you properly examined. But it's okay. Your aunt will be with you. Lisa quickly got Emily's jacket and took the car keys. Emily resisted, but Lisa continued to gently persuade her. There's nothing scary. We're just going to find out why you felt sick. In the car, Emily sat small in the back seat. Lisa drove while watching Emily's condition through the rearview mirror. Emily was occasionally sobbing quietly. Emily, it's really okay. The doctor is a kind person. Yes. When they arrived at the pediatrics department of St. Mary's General Hospital, Lisa explained the situation at reception. Fortunately, the doctor on duty was her colleague, and they were immediately taken to an examination room. Good evening, Emily, Dr. Wilson greeted with a gentle smile. What's wrong? Emily hid behind Lisa and wouldn't look at the doctor. She spit out spaghetti immediately after taking one bite at dinner, Lisa explained. After that, she trembled violently and kept apologizing. Dr. Wilson frowned. Have there been any other unusual symptoms recently? She doesn't have much appetite and always eats only a little. But until today, she was eating properly. Emily, does your stomach hurt? the doctor asked gently. Emily shook her head slightly. Do you feel sick? She shook her head again. Well then, let's do some tests. Blood tests and X-rays too. Tests. Emily's voice trembled. It won't hurt, so it's okay, Lisa held her hand. During the tests, Emily was abnormally compliant. Where a normal child would cry or refuse, Emily quietly followed the doctor's instructions. However, her expression was filled with fear. While waiting for the blood test results, Lisa sat with Emily in the waiting room. Emily, is there something you're worried about? No, nothing. Really? You can tell your aunt anything. Emily remained looking down and didn't answer. An hour later, Dr. Wilson appeared with the test results. His expression was serious. Lisa, I need to talk to you. Can Emily wait in the waiting room? Lisa felt anxious as she left Emily with a nurse and entered the doctor's examination room. How were the test results? Dr. Wilson began speaking while looking at the results sheet. Lisa, this is a serious situation. Looking at Emily's blood test results, there are clear signs of malnutrition. Malnutrition? But I heard she eats normally at home. That's not all. Her weight is significantly below normal for her age. And her blood protein levels are abnormally low. This is evidence that she hasn't been getting adequate nutrition for a long period. Lisa was speechless. The X-ray results are also concerning. Her bone density is low, and there may be effects on her growth. But, what does that mean? Dr. Wilson looked at Lisa with a serious expression. Lisa, these symptoms are not just from picky eating or constitutional factors. There's a high possibility that Emily has been consistently deprived of adequate food for a long period. That's impossible. Emily's parents are loving parents. They care about Emily. Lisa, since you're a nurse, I think you'll understand, but these test results can't be explained by coincidence or short-term problems. This is the result of chronic malnutrition over months, probably years. In Lisa's mind, Emily's behavior up to now began to take on new meaning. Excessive obedience, the habit of constantly apologizing, fear of food. As a doctor, I have an obligation to report this situation to the relevant agencies, Dr. Wilson said quietly. A report to Child Protective Services is necessary. Child Protective Services. But we're not certain yet, are we? It might be some mistake. Lisa, we need to face the facts that Emily's body is telling us. The reason she spit out the spaghetti today might be because her stomach has adapted to a long-term state of starvation. Her body can't respond to sudden normal meals. Lisa gripped the armrest of her chair with trembling hands. All the discomfort she had been feeling was beginning to connect as a terrifying reality. We need to hear directly from Emily. But first, I'd like you to tell me in detail about her behavior at home. Lisa talked in detail about the events of the past 3 days. Emily's abnormal obedience, her rejection of food, her behavior of constantly apologizing, and tonight's intense reaction. These behavioral patterns are typically seen in children who have suffered long-term abuse or neglect, the doctor explained quietly. Abuse? No, that's impossible. My sister is. Lisa, it's painful to accept reality, but we need to know the truth to protect Emily. We'll keep her here for observation until her condition improves. At that moment, there was a knock on the examination room door. A nurse peeked in. Excuse me, Emily is looking for you. She seems very anxious. Lisa stood up. When she returned to the waiting room, Emily was sitting on a chair with her knees drawn up. When she saw Lisa, she showed a small expression of relief. Emily, it's okay. I'm here. Lisa hugged Emily while the doctor's words echoed in her head. Shall we stay overnight at the hospital tonight? Your aunt will be with you too. Stay overnight at the hospital. Fear appeared in Emily's eyes again. It's okay. We just want to examine your body a little more closely. There's nothing scary. Emily nodded slightly, but her expression held deep anxiety. Lisa hugged Emily while feeling fear about the truth that would likely be revealed and a strong determination to protect Emily. As the night deepened, in the hospital's private room, Lisa continued sitting by Emily's side as she fell asleep. The next morning, Emily woke up in the hospital bed. Lisa had stayed by Emily's side all night. From her experience as a nurse, she was prepared for any sudden changes in the child, but Emily had continued sleeping quietly. "Good morning, Emily. How do you feel?" "Good morning." Emily's voice was calmer than last night, but still seemed anxious. "We're in the hospital." "That's right. But don't worry. The doctor is examining your body carefully. Dr. Wilson came for morning rounds." His expression was even more serious than last night. "Good morning, Emily. Today I'd like to talk with you a little. Is it okay if Lisa stays with us?" Emily nodded slightly. "I want to talk about last night's test results." "Emily, do you eat meals properly every day at home?" Emily suddenly showed a tense expression. "Yes. I eat meals. What do you eat for breakfast?" Emily looked troubled. "Bread and..." "Do you eat bread every day?" "Sometimes." Dr. Wilson continued gently. "Emily, what do you do when you're hungry?" Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. "I endure it." "Why do you endure it?" "Papa and Mama." Emily suddenly stopped talking. Lisa's heart pounded violently. "Emily, what about Papa and Mama?" Emily shook her head. "It's nothing." Dr. Wilson continued his questions carefully. "Emily, if you say you're hungry, what do Papa and Mama say?" Emily's voice was trembling. "They get angry." "How do they get angry?" "They say I'm a bad child." Emily's tears streamed down her cheeks. "They say I'm selfish." Lisa gasped. "Emily, since when has this been happening?" "Always, since I can remember." Dr. Wilson made eye contact with Lisa. Then he turned back to Emily. "Emily, can you tell me a little more detail? How many times a day do you eat meals at home?" Sometimes, just a little at night." "What about breakfast and lunch?" "There aren't any. Papa and Mama say I'll get fat if I eat too much. They say I have to endure." Lisa's hands trembled. "Emily, is that true?" Emily continued crying. "Papa and Mama taught me that I have to tell other people I eat properly. But really, I'm hungry." "What happens if you say you're hungry?" "I get scolded, and locked in my room. And then I get even less food." Dr. Wilson continued quietly. "So when you ate the spaghetti last night, you became scared?" "Yes." Emily sobbed. "It had been a long time since I saw real food, and I thought I shouldn't eat it. But since Aunt Lisa made it for me, I thought I had to eat it, but my body couldn't accept it." Lisa stood up and hugged Emily. "Emily, it's okay now. You didn't do anything wrong. But I'm a bad child." "No. You're not a bad child. It's natural to want food. You're a growing child." Emily cried hard against Lisa's chest. "Really? I'm not a bad child." "You're absolutely not a bad child. You're a very good child." Dr. Wilson spoke up. "Emily, were there other painful things?" Emily answered in a small voice. "Sometimes I can't take baths. And clothes, sometimes I have to wear the same clothes for a long time." "Didn't you say anything at school?" "Papa and Mama said, never tell anyone at school. If I told, they said I would never get food forever." Lisa's anger was about to explode. However, she had to remain calm in front of Emily. "Emily, do you remember when the baby was born? What did Papa and Mama say?" "They said because a baby was coming, I had to be an even better child. They said they would give the baby proper meals, so I had to endure." At that moment, Lisa understood everything. Kate and her husband had been systematically abusing Emily while outwardly playing ideal parents. And while they intended to shower the new baby with love, they were planning to further oppress Emily. Emily, that won't happen anymore. Your aunt will absolutely protect you. But I have to go back to Papa and Mama. No, you don't have to go back there anymore. Dr. Wilson said to Lisa. I've already contacted Child Protective Services. A caseworker is scheduled to come this afternoon. Child Protective Services. Fear appeared in Emily's eyes. Did I do something bad? No, Emily. Child Protective Services is a place to protect children. People who will protect you are coming. But Papa and Mama will be angry, won't they? Lisa held Emily's small hand. Emily, what Papa and Mama did to you was wrong. Adults must love children, give them proper meals, and cherish them. They weren't doing that. But I was a bad child. No. Lisa's voice was strong. You did nothing wrong. The ones who were wrong were the adults who should have loved you. In the afternoon, Jennifer Davis, a social worker from Child Protective Services, came to the hospital. She had been involved in child protection for many years and was a veteran who carefully conducted the interview with Emily. Emily initially showed wariness toward Jennifer, but gradually opened up with Lisa by her side. Emily, you've really worked hard until now, Jennifer said gently. But you don't have to work so hard anymore. Really? Really? Adults will protect you. As a result of the interview, Emily was to be immediately taken into protective custody. Kate and Mike were informed that Emily was receiving treatment at the hospital, but they weren't yet told about the suspicion of abuse. That night, Lisa spent time with Emily at the hospital. Aunt Lisa, Emily called in a small voice. Am I really not a bad child? You're absolutely not a bad child. You're a very brave, wonderful child. I talked about Mama and Papa, but I couldn't endure it anymore. Lisa hugged Emily. Thank you for telling us. Because you told the truth, you can be happy now. Really? Really? Your aunt promises. Emily showed a genuine smile for the first time. That smile showed that the childlikeness that had been sealed away for so long was returning. The next day, a formal investigation by police and Child Protective Services would begin. Lisa prepared for the legal battle that was about to begin while vowing to absolutely protect Emily. While harboring complex emotions of love and anger toward Kate, Emily's safety was now the top priority. Emily, a new life will begin tomorrow. Even if scary things happen, your aunt will always be by your side. Thank you, Aunt Lisa. That night, Emily fell asleep peacefully for the first time in a long while. 6 months later, the final hearing at Boston Family Court was completed. Kate Johnson and Mike Johnson were found guilty of child abuse and neglect and permanently stripped of their parental rights to Emily. In court, the doctor's testimony, the Child Protective Services investigation report, and Emily's own brave testimony became decisive evidence. In her final statement, Kate spoke through tears. I wanted to be the perfect mother. But I succumbed to pressure. I did something inexcusable to Emily. However, the judge sternly declared, love for a child cannot be compensated for with excuses. Your actions are inexcusable. Lisa listened to that verdict in court while harboring complex emotions. Her love for Kate hadn't completely disappeared, but her relief at being able to protect Emily was greater. 2 weeks after the verdict, Lisa officially became Emily's adoptive mother. On the day the adoption procedures were completed, the two hugged in front of the family court. Now we've truly become family, Lisa said with tears in her eyes. Yes, Mom. Emily called Lisa, Mom, for the first time. Those words announced the beginning of a new life for both of them. Emily's recovery was progressing steadily. Her weight returned to the normal range through nutritional therapy, and her self-esteem was recovering through psychological counseling. The biggest change was that Emily began showing childlike emotional expressions. Mom, I became friends with Jessica at school today, Emily reported in a bright voice. That's wonderful. What kind of child is she? She's a very funny child. She invited me to go to the library together. Lisa smiled. Emily talking about friends on her own was great progress. One Sunday morning, while making pancakes in the kitchen, Emily asked a question. Mom, why did my previous father and mother do those things to me? Lisa stopped her hands and answered carefully. Sometimes adults make mistakes too. Your previous parents might not have known how to love. But they were going to be kind to the baby, weren't they? That's right. But that was also wrong. Love is something to be shared, not something to sacrifice someone for. Emily thought deeply. Is our family different from Mom and me? Our family is a family that cherishes each other. Even if you have blood relations, if there's no love, you're not a real family. But even if you're not blood related, if there's love and responsibility, you can become a real family. Like us. That's right, like us. Emily smiled with satisfaction. Then we're a real family. At dinner time, Emily served herself a large portion of pasta. Mom, I'm hungry, so is it okay to eat a lot? Of course. You're growing, so eat lots. Emily happily chomped on the pasta. The child who used to tremble in front of food was now naturally enjoying meals. Mom, I'm going to sing a song at the school presentation. Will you come? Of course I'll go. I'm looking forward to it. Before, I was scared to do anything in front of people. But now it's okay. Because Mom is here. Tears welled up in Lisa's eyes. Seeing Emily's recovery, she felt the strength of human resilience. At bedtime, Emily looked forward to having Lisa read her a picture book every night. Mom, please read Goodnight Moon again today. The same book again. Shall we try reading other books? I like this book. Because it's the first book Mom read to me. Lisa said while opening the book. Emily, I'm really happy to be with you. I'm happy too. I'm really glad Mom is here. When she finished reading, Lisa kissed Emily's forehead. This time, Emily didn't twist her body. Good night, Emily. Good night, Mom. I love you. I love you too. Before leaving the room, Lisa turned around. Emily was hugging her doll and sleeping peacefully. Returning to the living room, Lisa looked at the night view outside the window and thought. These 6 months had been difficult days, but the new life with Emily was more fulfilling than she had imagined. As a nurse, she had seen many children, but now as a mother of one child, she deeply understood the meaning of love. Family isn't determined only by blood relations. It's built by loving each other, supporting each other, and facing each other with responsibility. Lisa and Emily were deepening such genuine family bonds day by day. Tomorrow, another new day for the two would begin. It would be an accumulation of ordinary but special days filled with love. Emily's smile was the most precious treasure for Lisa. And continuing to protect that smile had become Lisa's new life goal.